Okay, so it is we're looking at the National Association of Realtors announcement on the multiple listing options for sellers. This is a big announcement for most companies around the country. We have already implemented many of the items that they're mentioning in this statement. The office exclusive, the delayed marketing, the exempt listing and disclosure. We have all of these things in place. So apparently, and I just have to hand it to, I know a lot, we don't like paying the dues and everything, but I'm telling you, I'm handing it to NVAR, Bright MLS, GCAR, which are the biggest groups involved in all this, of just because to get forms together, I know there were a lot of changes and everything, with a lot of new forms that came out since August, but this is a hard job to think through all the things that might happen, and then they release it, and then items come up that they hadn't thought about. So kudos to them for all the hard work they did on it. Um, so what we got was this. Where did it go? Yeah. Okay. So what the MLS is talking about are these forms that we use here. This is the Bright Disclosure Residential Seller Landlord Options form. As you know, the top box gets initialed by everyone, and then the bottom box is initialed by only the seller. So under two is what we're talking about here, 2A. We've been working with this form since last August. I'm not going to get into the details here, just pointing out what 2A means and then where it's related to what this new information is that they have released. So 2A is I'm listed, I'm going on. That's it. 2B is I'm listed, I'm going on, but I don't want anything on the MLS. I don't want anything on the internet. Okay. I've selected not to have my properties on the internet. 2C is I'm coming soon. 2D is office exclusive. And I really want everyone to start using the term office exclusive or office off X or something like that. We're not off market, just to be technically there. We're not off market when we put them in office exclusive. Because we keep seeing that email, hey, I got an off market listing. You're not off market if you've listed them. You're just not in the MLS. So that's one thing there. So what NAR and Bright have done, and these forms right here I'm showing you are Bright forms. This form here is the listing flexibility form. This is for you, okay? Just to have a graphic explaining what it's about. I'm going to start from the right and go to the left, okay? The office exclusive is a limit your listing exposure. Seller doesn't want the listing distributed through the MLS. Enter as an office exclusive. There's a whole nother form that they've put together to explain how to do an office exclusive. It's such a good form that whenever I get this question now, I'm going to have it saved in a document. I'm going to send it to you and say, if you can't get through that, then call me. The next one is coming soon. Take time to pre-market, test pricing, and prepare your listing. I would submit that the office exclusive is also a time to test the price because you have people that are calling you about it, they're asking you about it, even agents are calling you about it, and you can test the price to see, is this getting grip? Is this getting some traction here on the pricing? So that's a good reason to do that. But coming soon, as you know, the seller's not ready for showings, open houses, or tours, but wants the listing distributed on the internet. Yes. Interest coming soon, internet. Yes. There's also interest coming soon, internet. No. Okay. So they can have it in the MLS. Agents are seeing it, but it's not out on the internet. Okay. Active, you know what active is. The only selections on active is it on the internet? Is it not on the internet? Okay. That's this form is for you to understand where we're going. This form is actually for consumers. This will be a good form for your listings and with your buyers because it helps the buyers understand what's going on. How come I see it here and I don't see it there? That type of thing. So the no two home sellers are the same form. They come to you with different needs, priorities. Here's the good news. Bright MLS offers flexible listing entry options that allow you to address each client's unique needs. Pre-market. Internet is coming soon. Keep a listing off the internet until it's ready for public marketing. Select internet, no. Pre-market only to agents and brokers, and then limit the listings exposure by seller request. Seller request means then someone needs to mute. Then you are filling out the seller exclusive limited marketing form. You go from if they collect 2D, you're now filling out the seller instruction. Now, these two forms in the Bright MLS are fulfilling these new announcements from NAR. So what I'm saying is we are not changing how we work, but we do keep getting some confusion on office exclusive, thinking it's off market. Where can I market it? Those types of things. And then what happens when they want to come back on board? We got a finalized notation from Bright that if you are office exclusive on the right here, and you've gone through your week or two and you've tried to get it going, nothing's happened, no traction, or you've gone a long time. I mean, we've got some that our office exclusives have been out there for months because they're doing things, getting it ready, and they're just relying on the agent to find some buyers. They can then come into a regular market, a regular listing, and they may go into coming soon. Even though you've shown the property with some of our agents, you've had people that you've met at open houses and say, well, I do have an office exclusive, not an off market. Everybody wants to call it an off market. It's not an off market. Off market is there's a house across the street. It's not on the market. It's not listed with anyone. I'm going to go knock on the door. That's an off market. Okay. That's an off market. Otherwise, it's office exclusive. I have an office exclusive. They're not ready for public promotion yet. Would you like me to arrange a showing for that? Oh, it's off market? No, it's not off market. It's just an office exclusive. We need to start getting that vocabulary changed in the marketplace. So then you've gone through the 2 weeks. You can't get it happen anymore. You do a listing brokerage amendment to change this to coming soon. And yes, you would then need to go back to this form, the MLS disclosure form, cross out 2D and go to whatever, 2C or 2A, whichever one you're going to. Bright just wants this in our folder. They have asked for this form before. This is why this is important. They are the ones, all the MLSs across the country have been tasked by that court decision to monitor this stuff, to make sure that the sellers and buyers are being disclosed to how the MLS works and how the compensation works. That's why that's there. That's why they've got this as a look, low-hanging fruit form. Fill it out the first time, cross it out, change it. You don't need to do a new listing agreement. Just change it to coming soon or active or whatever you're going to after office exclusive. All right. Now, I will get off track a little bit here on what we do with an office exclusive. If your property goes under contract in office exclusive, if you just go under contract, you as the listing agent in the MLS do not get credit for it. It becomes a non-member listing. Okay. So you would then want to, if you look that you're going under contract, change this to active and then go under contract immediately. Okay. Now your listing information is showing up and you can count that in your transactions.
Anthony, quick question about that. If your office exclusive gets under contract as an office exclusive, as you mentioned, in that form that you're showing is a 2D, you're suggesting that we go active and then immediately under contract. Do we have to then have the seller sign and change to either 2B or any of the other ones because we're putting it active even for like 2 seconds?
I would say yes.
Okay.
So you're you've got a contract, you're under contract, send this form to the seller. This one, an amendment, we got to go active to get it online. Why? Say, well, it's for comp purposes, and honestly, it's because I want to get credit for it. If we don't, in the MLS, I do not get credit for it. And this is why I'm in business.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
Hey, I just had something like this happen and I called MLS about it and they said you can actually put it in pending. So once you're in pending as a private exclusive listing, you can get credit that way.
Okay. I haven't seen it that way. That's good to know.
Yep.
So you could be in office exclusive, go to pending, and then when you go to closing, you'll get it.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
you just have to put it to close and then you'll
They
get the
must have got some complaints.
probably.
Because once I did mine, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't get credit for that. It didn't show up anywhere except for the buyer agent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not fun. Anyway, um, so any other questions on the Bright and the limited marketing office exclusive information?
I do.
Yeah.
So you sent another email about the office exclusive, I think last night or this morning. So we have the listing agreement, we have the forms, we have the 2D, we have the additional office exclusive form signed, and then how we still have to put it in Bright MLS as an office exclusive, correct?
Yes, you should still put it in the MLS as an office exclusive. I sent an email out this
Agree.
morning showing
Yes.
what we
Yeah.
get. Okay.
Okay.
Um, do y'all see this on the
Yeah.
screen?
Yeah.
See, Sheila and I get this every day. When there's an update, I forward it out. I've sent this out like two or three times now. Chris Ortega, we got to work on his real broker thing. He came over from Real. His name is still showing up. So this shows you how many office exclusives we have listed right now. And we get this email every day as the brokers. You cannot search this. And agents get all wrapped around the out. Why can't we search that? Because it's an office exclusive. It's not an MLS exclusive. Okay. It's for our company. And if you put this out there for everyone to search, do you think the agents are not going to just start, banging on the door and doing it? Now you might as well be coming soon or something. And so that's why they have it done this way. I know we have some other office exclusive that have not been entered in the MLS, and we're dealing with that. That we need to make sure these are put in there so that we can have a good understanding and tracking of this, so that when we send it out to you guys, you know what's going on. You want to call Melinda? What's the listing? I see it. Um, I know some people say, well, what about the price? Well, that's just it. We're testing the price. So that's what the seller wants. They want us to test the price. Tell your office what you got. You can market it to people. Maybe I'm too high. Maybe I'm too low. What's going to happen? But it's easy for you guys to look up 1012 Railroad Avenue, number 9 Falls Church, and say, what's the estimate? That at least gives you the estimate of what that would be for. It's just a different tool in our toolbox now. But we send this out to everyone periodically, about every other week or so, just for updates. If something updates today, I'll send it out again. But we get it every single day in on the office exclusive listing report.
And how long do we have since we get the listing to enter it into Bright MLS as an office exclusive?
It
That's
should
where I
be. I think it said. I believe it was 2 days.
since signatures or since when we can the seller says
Well, you got to have signatures, yeah, after
no
they
no no I
signed it.
meant I
Yeah.
meant I meant the 2 days after they sign after you get the listing or the 2 days um when they say you can start bringing people
Yeah,
in.
let me look up the listing real quick. But they want it in the MLS so that we just have a good way of tracking it. And they've not told me exactly, but I get their I get the rationale on that. Plus, for us, I mean, I'd have to go through every single DocuSign um, email I got to keep a list together with everything that's coming through. This just makes it all electronic. All right, exclusive right to sell. Agreement term and listing. The listing term begins when seller instructs broker to allow any potential buyers to learn about the property. Listing terms shall go into effect on or before we got a date with the expiration date coincide. Listing shall be entered in the MLS within 2 days of the start of listing term. What it's not telling you is how it's got to be entered in the MLS, but it needs to be put into I almost said it myself, office exclusive. Then we get to marketing. Seller authorizes broker to property. That's 2A. Seller does not authorize to do on MLS. That's another one. Third-party websites. Seller authorizes, to display property address. Then we have coming soon, and then this must be. Oh, seller does not authorize broker to market via property via the MLS. That's the office exclusive. Okay. Yeah. If seller does not authorize broker to market property, broker will instead market property as an office exclusive listing unless and until seller desires to market property via MLS. Office exclusive listing means seller instructs broker to restrict marketing of property only to broker's network. And that's where the whole question came up. Well, what's the network? This is your ML, this is your mail list, your email list, your farm, your group of agents that you have a big old email list of. It's your um, KWMLS. It's your Facebook, it's your Instagram, it's your YouTube video, it's a sign in the yard. It's all of these items that you are marketing in your network. And yes, you can have a sign in the yard in Office Exclusive. I would submit if you're going to start doing this, get some Office Exclusive writers to put on the bottom of because then it helps agents to see, oh, that's Office Exclusive. This is not pocket listing we're trying to do here. Okay. This is giving the seller what they want. Earlier in the whole thing about coming soon, there was a big argument on you're not letting the seller sell it the way they want to sell it. You're wanting them to sell it the way Bright MLS wants them to sell it. And that was kind of the whole discussion that went on for about a year or so. Because the coming soon happened in 2018. And so the office exclusive is given the control back to the seller to do what they want to do. Okay. All right. And there's another. Yeah. This is another graphic that's from NAR. Option, office exclusive, neither publicly marketed nor shared on the MLS. Office exclusive, one business day when they put it for sales, like public marketing. So this information here, it's fine. It's harder to understand because they're trying to have a blanket over all the MLSs to give some guidance. Ours is clearer. This is the Bright MLS information. It's just a lot clearer on how to operate it. And I think we've gotten through enough of these that I believe most of our agents that are listing office exclusives and get one, you know what to do. I just see some documents that are just not filled out appropriately. That's it. You know what to do with it. You're just not filling this document out right. Okay. If you do check 2D, then you have to have the seller instruction for limited. All of these are initialed by the seller, and this is the form that I sign as the broker. Okay. So, with all that said, what questions you got? Wow, I've completely done a great job, or you're completely confused, one or the other.
Anthony, where is that office exclusive form?
This one is, these forms are in the Bright folders. So if you are on Bright in DocuSign and Zip Forms and all these, there will be a Bright MLS folder. Let me show you some on DocuSign. These packets are what we've put together. Okay. The libraries are what that DocuSign has, the libraries of all the MLSs. So they have a library that's called BMLS, Bright MLS library. And so these are the Bright MLS forms that are available. And we have the MLS disclosure and the office exclusive. All right. That's where they're located. If you click like Virginia listing, it's in there. Okay. It's already in there. Good question. Anything else?
Hey, Anthony.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I came in a little bit late. Can you explain the delayed marketing period again?
The delayed market, the way I understand it, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Can y'all see the listing flexibility slide?
Yeah.
All right, great. This is from Bright, so I'm gonna use this as a guide. So the coming soon is no time limit. Price updates don't show in history. Pre-market with listing agent credit. Okay. Internet, no. The listing stays private until you're ready to go public. Days on market will not accumulate if listing is coming soon. Access internet settings under remarks and internet settings. And this is where you put that information. Combine coming soon with internet, no. No public exposure, only visible within the MLS. Days on market do not accumulate. That's nice. Easily convert to a full listing later. And let me see if they got the triggering of the. That's it. Okay. All right. So that's why I was saying the NAR form is not as clear for our market. They've got this public marketing trigger, 1 business day. Listing becomes publicly available is another business day. So you have an office exclusive period and, public marketing trigger. I'm going to have to look at what they mean by that. Delayed marketing period must immediately submit to MLS. I'm not sure what they mean on that either.
Does,
So,
can you hear me?
yeah, because real quick, because what Bright told us is nothing's changing. So that's why I don't really pay too much attention to this right here.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
why.
I mean, yeah, if you can find out more, that'd be great. Because I mean, I just don't know if we can show the listing if it's in that delayed marketing period.
That's why I like what Bright is showing us and what they've told us.
Okay.
If you're in office exclusive, which that's what this is talking about is office exclusive. Okay.
Okay.
And they're just saying office exclusive. I've signed the disclosure. I'm in this office exclusive. And what they tell us for getting this form here is this is the form that we're going by, this sheet here. I can show it. I can market it. I can have agents from brand X show it. I can have contractors through office exclusive. What it means is you don't have the latches and the rules and regulations of Bright MLS when you're an office exclusive. Okay. I remember years ago, I called to complain about a realtor that was doing things that violated the MLS rules, but he was doing it on Craigslist. And even back then, before we had coming soon and everything, they said, well, he's doing it on Craigslist. He's not in the MLS, but he's violating these rules. Yeah, but it's not in the MLS, so it's not affected by our rules. And that's when I had the aha, oh, okay. So there are rules and regulations required under Bright that if you're not in Bright, they're not included. So that's what they have done here now, and they've memorialized it in the policies. You're not in the MLS publicly, so you don't have these latches on what you got to do. You're office exclusive. You don't have to have, you put, because even in coming soon, there was the whole thing early on of you can't put a sign in the yard. It's in coming soon, and then they finally just said, you know what? We're trying to, instead of latching on our members And our subscribers, we're putting our handcuffs on the seller. And that's why these things have changed. They finally come to a revelation. The seller is the one in control of how they want to market their property, not us. We're putting an overlay on top of them. And that's not what the intent was. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, the only thing that's good about delayed marketing exposure is, all the agents can actually see it. So,
Right.
you know,
And delayed marketing, I like what they told us when they came here last time. This is a good time to test your price. You got a single family home, you're going to fix it up, but they said, "Hey, but if you find someone that'll buy it before I fix it up, I'm happy to just get it done." They bought the house for 500, they're on the market for 1.3. Who's going to quibble? They might not want to quibble about $50,000, but they may not want to put 50 grand into it. You show it, you sell it, or you show it and no one's latching onto it at 1.15 and you're planning on going on 1.2 and you're like, wow, we're almost done with all the work and still no one's latching onto it. My 1.15 may be off, but you're not getting all this time on the market showing everyone that you hit the price wrong.
mhm.
Because
Okay.
on that one, it's not tabulating days on market.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, Anthony, question for you.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend that we use this flexible listing option flyer when we go on the listing appointment?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay. So,
it's like, let me show you how we work this. And so it just gives more transparency to the seller of what's going on. It also gives transparency to the buyers because they're driving by, they see a listing, they hear office exclusive. Remember, they're in a window of 6 months, they're going to buy something, and then they're not in our world anymore. So it helps them to understand, oh, that's what office exclusive means. You can get it so I can see it? Yeah, I can see it. Great, I'm going to sign up with you. Because we can still go and get the office exclusive permission because the rules and regulations are you can't stand in the way of me showing it as a listing agent with an office exclusive. So this is a good form to use. No two home sellers are the same. And so this might be a good one to use. It's almost the same thing, just different look. What is the office exclusive? This is more for you. How to enter it in the MLS, how to get through that. That's for you. And then we have these two forms here. All right. Hey, want to remind you guys that we have a event coming up that's excellent. It's not free, so we're doing a few things on it here. I'm going to put these in the okay. I'm going to put this in the comments. There we go. Great. Okay. All right. There's the link to the Eventbrite for this is the VIP event. The VIP event includes the day before the event and the event itself on the next day. Okay. This next one I'm sending you is just the event on I think it's the 14th, excuse me, of May. Mark King's former CEO of Keller Williams. And so we're bringing him to town to talk about wealth building. Lot of great information. I've already got my ticket. It's not a lot of seats, so you may want to, if you're even considering it. I mean, it's got a box lunch, so it's like $40 for a big event. I don't know if you can see this or not, but let me make it a little bit bigger. Maximizing financial gain, building and protecting wealth. So there's processes, kind of like you're getting the instructions from people that are prosperous and rich, and how they manage their money, building and protecting wealth, real estate agent success strategies, expert positioning and branding, financial independence, and passive income. This is a passion of Mark King's, and Eric and Sheila have been able to get his ear and bring him in. So really want you guys to register for this and get in there. It's starting to fill up, so you do want to get in there and make it happen. It's at the Angelica, whatever you call that. It's at that event. It's all day, and it's going to be really good. I think you want to sign up for that. I've heard him. He's very inspirational, but very focused. So it's really good. All right. So any other questions on the this information on Bright, or do you have anything else we want to talk about? Nothing else? You want me to dismiss class early? You go out to the recess? Okay. All right. Good deal, folks. Thank you very much. And y'all go have a prosperous weekend. Get some buyers and sellers and get out there and start letting them know that the market is not tanked. It may have just shrank, but they can help it by listing their property. All right. Calm down, buy a house. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Anthony.
Take care, y'all. Bye.